The exclusive home of the Utah Mammoth is on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Backdoor pass, and they score! Lawson Krause lasers one in, and the Mammoths are off and running. Keller, one-timer, tipped wide, rebound, they score! Johnny Marino makes it 2-0. Tanev around behind the Ottawa net, wraparound, shut down, rebound loose, it's still loose! They're trying to jam it in, Miralainen got back, Utah saying it's in, and it is! The Mammoth kick down the door and make it 3-1!
You're listening to Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. It's time to talk a little Mammoth hockey. Our next guest is brought to you by Hercules First Federal Credit Union, growing stronger together. Of course, he's on the Mammoth broadcast, joins us every Thursday. He's our buddy Nick Olczyk. What's going on, Nick?
Jake and Ben, what's up, boys? Jake, thanks for taking some time out of your schedule to join us. It was just Ben and I last week. It was nice, but it's exciting to have to be able to chat with the both of you here this week.
Well, I could step out for a minute, Nick, if you need. If you and Ben had such a good time, I can find something else to do.
Not at all. We love you very much, so we're glad you're here.
Well, Nick, let's start off with the big news yesterday, and this is funny. We talked about it. I said, knowing Ryan Smith the way that we do a little bit and his ambition, there was probably going to be an outdoor game coming to Utah at some point. I had no idea they would announce that the Winter Classic would be in Utah within the week.
Yeah, it was an amazing moment for the franchise, for both Ryan and Ashley Smith, the governors of the Utah Mammoth, and I think a huge moment just to begin, a huge moment for the National Hockey League, because after that game is played between the Mammoth and the Colorado Avalanche at Rice-Eccles Stadium to kick off 2027, after that game is played, every team in the NHL will have participated in an outdoor game. So huge kudos to the league, first off, for trying to get everybody involved. Now, look, there were some teams that had to wait a while. Other teams like the Utah Mammoth who have done everything right. And some could say, yeah, Nick, you're just saying that because there's a check that hits your account 2 times a month and whatnot. But just speaking honestly here, they've done everything right. The branding, the fan engagement, decisions with the team, involvement in the community, especially at the grassroots level. Like there has not been a wrong step taken by Ryan and Ashley Smith, as well as the entire organization, Chris Barney and Chris Armstrong and Bill Armstrong, and everybody involved in the decision making for the Utah Mammoth. So just wanted to make sure that I made that very clear, and kudos to the league, Mr. Commissioner Gary Bettman, Bill Daly, Steve Mayer, who is in charge of all of the events that the National Hockey League run throughout the course of a season, who does a phenomenal job. But now on to the game. Like, this is the Super Bowl of the regular season. This is the marquee event. This is the signature day and weekend on the National Hockey League regular season calendar. It's a celebration of the game, bringing hockey back to its roots. Everything's going to sound different. It's going to look different. And we're going to have hockey being played not only outdoors, but in a football stadium. It's like just saying that and trying to understand the gravity of everything that it is going to, the game is going to support and bring to life. The economic and community impact around the Salt Lake area, and then, of course, the great state of Utah. The impact that's going to have on fans, being able to get more fans as opposed to 16,000, there's going to be 50,000 people to be able to watch a National Hockey League game within the elements with an incredible backdrop around Rice-Eccles Stadium. And our broadcast team, we had a chance to be there for the big announcement yesterday with the league and the team, and just being in the stadium and trying to imagine what it is going to be like for the Winter Classic game. The possibilities are endless. The support is there from everybody within the state, And so I can't wait for it to get here. The one thing I've been trying to do with my New Year's resolution, guys, is to enjoy the moment a little bit more. But it's hard to enjoy the moment when you've got something like this that is happening within a year. So I think the partnership of the league as well as the team, it certainly starts there. And I just want to say thank you to everybody involved for making this possible, because I know it is going to be something that Mammoth Nation and that everybody here in the state of Utah is never going to forget once it does happen.
I was talking about this yesterday. I love the idea of introducing the elements to a sport that does not traditionally have it, right? An outdoor for the. So my guess, Nick, my question is, are you like me and rooting it for it to be like Mystery Alaska, like 20 below, like bring Little Richard out, or have it be puke and snow or something? I want to see it be gnarly.
Yeah. I think that would only add to the mystique of the game. And for those who are listening, and Jake and Ben, not sure if you guys have seen it, maybe you have, but I would encourage everybody to go on YouTube and type in highlights to the first ever Winter Classic game, which was 2008, the Buffalo Sabres against the Pittsburgh Penguins. And it has been affectionately nicknamed the Snow Globe game. It was in Buffalo. I think it was at the Ralph Wilson Stadium there where the Bills play, and obviously Buffalo synonymous with a ton of snow throughout the winter time, and it was coming down. Like it was just snow was dumping from the sky, and you had people in the crowd, part of Bills Mafia. They were taking their shirts off. They were getting close to naked when it was snowing like crazy. The game just had a feel of old-time hockey, playing out on the ponds with your friends, not wanting to come off because you wanted to keep playing even though it was snowing like crazy. And it did create that snow globe effect. And so definitely that's going to add to the elements. And I think the one thing that we won't have to worry about here in Utah is like the two things that are so worrisome when it comes to playing an outdoor game. And considering the refrigeration units that the league has to bring in, they have their own ice gurus and the ice making machines. It's really two things: it's direct sunlight to the ice and rain. And rain probably hopefully won't have to worry about. And obviously, I know a lot of it depends on the temperature and whatnot too. But direct sunlight onto the ice can just melt a hole right through it. And rain, it's the worst thing for it because it's going to be slushy and slow, and that's not at all what you want. Now, the hope is, and the governor, I think, guaranteed it, that the weather is going to be about 28 degrees and a light snow. I think that's what was promised yesterday at the press conference, funnily enough. But those are kind of two things I think that you're hoping against, and I've got no doubt, considering how well everything has gone here in the great state of Utah, that everything is going to end up being just perfect. And I really can't wait to see the pomp and circumstance and the impact that this has on the state, allowing more people to be able to see a National Hockey League game in an amazing setting, but also the impact it has on the surrounding community economically, but also, too, for the families of the players and the team. That plays a huge role as well. All the families get to come into town. They get to skate on the rink after the practice the two teams will have the day before the game. So it really is a celebration of hockey and everybody involved in it, both the fans, the players, and everybody else.
Nick, clearly NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman is a fan of Ryan Smith and, has appreciated the way he's taken over the Arizona Coyotes and turned them into the Mammoth and done it so quickly. And now they're rewarded with a Winter Classic. While Gary Bettman certainly seems to be a fan, how do you think the rest of the league views the Mammoth as an organization? Is there some legitimacy here? Because I got the sense that the Coyotes weren't particularly well respected, somewhat due to ownership, somewhat due to their inability to make the postseason. Do you think that's changed at all?
I do. And
or is there a skepticism? Do you think there's a skepticism about the team?
Yeah, no, it's a really fair question because, with talking about the Coyotes, like look, first of all, I could never imagine what it had been like. So I grew up in Chicago. And I never could have imagined what it would have been like, growing up and having my team leave, right? I mean, that's it's something that is, it makes you emotional just thinking about the team you grew up living and dying with, that were to leave your market. And look, obviously it became an untenable situation for a lot of people involved. The league stepped in, and Ryan and Ashley Smith stepped up. And what they've done to transform this team, to unlock and in a way seemingly unshackle hockey operations, to be able to go out and make moves and not have to worry about the finances as much, to try to make the team even better by bringing in players that you're going to have to pay a lot of money to. I think that plays a role, and again, that is no shot or disrespect at all for those who were formerly running the Arizona Coyotes. I think just looking at it from a point of view, from an outsider's point of view, it just seemed like that was kind of the one of the reasons why the move was made. But living my life now and seeing on a day-to-day basis how things are done, all you have to do, guys, is look at the practice facility. I mean, that's. You talk about being, a huge attractor for other players around the league, and for everybody to look at you and go, "Wow!" It's like now all of a sudden you're the most handsome guy or the prettiest girl at prom. It's like everybody just looks at you and goes, "Wow!" Like you've got a multi-million-dollar practice facility. The rink, the Delta Center, which was originally made, as we all know, for basketball and had some sightline issues for hockey, that's being renovated last summer and over the next 2 summers to make sure everybody can see it. It just seems like everybody in the situation right now for the Mammoth, from Ryan and Ashley Smith on down, the one goal, the drive, the ambition is to try to give this team everything in its power and its ability to be a winner, and to be a team that the state of Utah and everybody who lives here and everybody who lives abroad from Utah that is a fan can be proud of. And I think it ties into what we talked about earlier with the connection to the league and the respect that there is there. So, yeah, I would say that the Utah Mammoth right now are without a doubt a prized gem within the league, just based on even the optics without the insider's point of view, with everything that they've done, the renovations, as I mentioned, finding a way to get an outdoor game in what will be just the third NHL season here in Utah. And with this place quickly becoming a destination for hockey players to want to play, to want to live, and hopefully to want to settle down. But I do think, to the heart of the question, that this place, this team, the ownership, and everybody involved, I think is very rapidly becoming a place where everybody looks to and will start beginning to base how they would like to run their organization off of.
All right, 7-game homestand. They won game number 1 against Ottawa last night. What do you think they need to do to set a good tone for the remainder of the season with this stretch?
Yeah. This was actually something that our great TV host Kim Becker and I had touched on in the pregame show last night before taking on the Ottawa Senators. So 7 games, a possibility of 14 points. Obviously, you want to win every game, so you're looking for 14 points. But again, National Hockey League, especially this year, even compared to other years, the parity, every game being so difficult, no matter the team's in the playoffs, out of the playoffs, doesn't matter. I think the realistic goal is you're looking for 11 or 12 points. That's a very high points percentage out of the possible 14 available. But if this team wants to make the playoffs, I really do think, guys, and I would love to revisit this once we get to game 82, I firmly believe is that this stretch will be the make or break if this team wants to make the playoffs. Nobody has played more road games than the Utah Mammoth, and nobody has played fewer home games. And with the fact that Utah has been much better at home this year than they were last year, this stretch right here, I do think is going to be pivotal in their hope and their hunt to make the playoffs. And you just look at some of the teams that they're playing. Just because a team isn't in the playoffs now, you really can't put too much stock into that, because the majority of these teams are just a couple of points out. But just kind of going game by game, the Ottawa Senators, it was a huge win, 3-1, especially once the Senators had their push. When the game was 2-1, the Mammoth were able to absorb it, push back, find a way to win that game 3-1. Then the St. Louis Blues, I mean, it's coming up tomorrow. They've had a really rough season, but again, a team that always finds a way to hang in there and hang around. So that'll be a tough game. Then the Columbus Blue Jackets, who have really struggled in a big way. They're currently sitting last in the East. Okay, I want everybody to hear this. They're sitting last in the East, and they're still just a couple of points out of a playoff spot. So this team right now only 6 points out. That's only 3 wins. Now they got to jump a bunch of teams, but only 6 out as they currently sit dead last in the East. And you got the Toronto Maple Leafs, who are as volatile as any team, but as we know with the likes of Austin Matthews, William Nylander, they can beat anybody on any given night. Then the Dallas Stars, who have gone through a huge, huge downturn here lately, but still one of the best teams in the league. And then you end the homestand against the Seattle Kraken, who've had a great year. And then the Philadelphia Flyers, who have a bunch of skill, especially in their forward group. So just going game by game, there's going to be 0 games where it's a gimme, just as it has been the case all year. But I really do think, guys, out of the possible 14, they got to find a way to get 11 or 12 points. And when we look back, I do think this will be the stretch that will be the make or break should this team be able to punch their ticket into the postseason.
Continuing our series of Let's Get to Know Nick Olczyk a little bit better. You're an NHL lifer. We've talked to you about your favorite cities and kind of your favorite things off the ice. Since you've been around the league your entire life, who are your favorite people that are around the NHL right now? Who are the people you look forward to seeing when you get to make your stops and travel and like to welcome to Salt Lake?
Wow. That's I don't think I've ever been asked that question before. So that is that's a hell of a question. I've been very fortunate and blessed to have become friends with a lot of broadcasters that I've looked up to in a huge way. And so, a couple that come to mind is the broadcast team over in Vegas. Dave Gosher and Shane Knighty, who I think have a top show in the National Hockey League, and guys that I try to watch consistently. The guys out in Boston, Judd Surratt, who I know when he was calling games for the Chicago Blackhawks, and Andy Brickley, who's been speak about a lifelong fan and or a lifelong hockey lifer. That being Andy Brickley, having played in the National Hockey League as well and been a broadcaster there for a long, long time. And it's always great to run into current NHLers that are former teammates of mine. Because, look, guys, I live my dream. I've been broadcasting games in my bedroom since I was about 6 years old, doing play-by-play, color, pre and post in my room at 2 a.m., only to hear have my mom bang on the door yelling at me to go to bed. We laugh about it now because I'm living my dream at the highest level, but I always wanted to play in the NHL, and I was lucky enough to end up playing Division I in college. And just as you get older, the pyramid gets much tighter, and the playing was not in it for me, and I'm perfectly at peace with that. But to be able to come across with and reconnect with some former teammates of mine who I played junior with, who I played college with or against, is really special. To be able to run into those guys and call games through them. Guys like Brandon Montour, who is one of the top D in the league playing for the Seattle Kraken. So it's always fun when I get to call his games and chat with him before the game. A guy like Brock Besser, who plays for the Vancouver Canucks, a guy I played with who was just an absolute stud when we played together for the Waterloo Blackhawks and the United States Hockey League. So I would say, certain broadcasters that I've always looked up to and always try to watch and gain information from. It's always great to see them and former teammates of mine who I look up to a lot, because at the end of the day, they're doing what a lot of young kids and people always wanted to do, and so it's such an honor to be able to call their games. And as you guys know, you're never going to be friends with everybody, but I really do sincerely try my best to treat everybody with respect and kindness. And you got to have a little fun every once in a while too. But it's always a blessing to be able to run into friends, people that you know, but also make new friends along the way. I think that's such an important part of not just this industry, but life. Because at the end of the day, if I could leave everybody with one thing, as I'm getting older and I'm learning, and I'm 29 right now, and hopefully I got a long way to go. The one thing I learn is that the clothes, the jewelry, the cars, the material things are only going to make you happy for so long. And so at the end of the day, when you're laying there on your bed taking your last couple of breaths, the one thing that you hope is that you're going to be surrounded by the people that you love and the people that you made connections with over your life. And so that's the one thing I've really learned that really is most important. So it's great to get around the league and see a lot of those people to answer your question.
I don't know, Nick. A diamond-studded nipple ring would make Will Trubshaw happy for a long time. A long time.
You can take that to the grave.
I could see that. Now, I couldn't see it before, but with how eloquently you described it, I could see it. I'm going to have to bring that up to him tomorrow when I see him.
Thank you, Nick. You're always so great. We really appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
It's my pleasure, boys. Anything for you guys, and look forward to chatting with you next week.
Thanks, Nick.
Next week, Nick's biggest enemies around the league, most hated.
Oh yeah, who he really despises,
and who hates him.
By the way, Will Trubshaw is the producer of the radio broadcast.
You've heard us talk about Jamil, who works with Jake.
Will is the Mammoth version. But Will worked on the Jazz broadcast for several years before he got the gig with the Mammoth. So
yes, notoriously loves wearing tight shirts to show off his piercings.
His piercings. That's him.
Will's a hard worker.
Like Ryan Day.
Yeah.
He's like Ryan Day. Seriously.
Cuomo. Yeah.
All right, stay tuned. We'll have more coming up next. Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.